Hello and welcome. My name is Captain Tom, and tonight we've got some crazy stories in our Culture Watch. We have the CIA using Espers to try and find holy relics. We have the UK, the UN. We've got a couple of those acronyms here. They are contacting, or have been contacting, the developers for Helldivers 2 because they've got some concerns. And then we also have the UK doing some crazy stuff over there, and we'll get more into that. But yeah, oh, and humanoid robots could be inside people's homes, you know, doing daily chores and things like that very soon. So who knows, maybe the robot takeover is coming sooner than later. But yeah, so with that, before we get into any of that, go ahead and introduce our favorite intergalactic robot and friend, Wilson. He is, you won't be able to see or hear him, so you're welcome. So yeah, Julian, welcome aboard. Dan, glad to see ya. So let's start this thing off. Lisa, Helldivers? Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But before we get into any of that, I found a video that I think you guys would like. And I also got a little bit of a different setup here. So let me show you guys that. Here we go. Okay. We'll go ahead and turn this audio down. All right, White Bat Audio, by the way, if you want to know what that comes from. Copyright free on YouTube. White Bat Audio, go check them out. In the description are any of the artists I use music for. So what I got here is a video. Here we go. So I get the setup. I could always do the setup like this, just in case. You guys let me know. You guys let me know what you like more. Should I can always do this. It's a little bit more big, a little bit bigger on the screen, but at least this way you can tell I'm on the spaceship, right? So yeah, we'll start the video like this. So this is just a kind of a little warm up. You know, we got some crazy videos that some are kind of a little depressing on the subject as far as just how crazy culture and things are going on today. But this is, I thought this would be a nice little pick me up, something a little bit inspirational. So and also very interesting. So let's go ahead and check it out. Make sure the volume's good. Okay, all right, so before we play that, let me see. I think the volume's good. Okay, so what do we have here? We have somehow, some way, a 18-wheeler, some big old truck has got itself in a really weird situation here. I'm assuming the driver's not in this thing for this guy to be in this position. I don't know if this is the driver, or I mean, I guess that's pretty plausible, or if it's someone else for whatever reason. He is holding this truck into place, trying to keep it from falling over, and all you can hear is apparently whoever's filming or someone that's standing around is saying, you're not helping, telling this person to let go of the truck, essentially. So let me start this over right here. Listen to this. He points to himself like, oh, are you talking to me? So I was thinking maybe this is his wife, maybe it's someone else, but watch what happens here. Oh no! So I think what I get from this is that this guy is the only, let's look at the comments here. It's pretty funny. So we've got, oh, you can't see the comments? I bet I could fix that. I'll just read them to you guys. He was, in fact, the only one helping. One of my favorite quotes, the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who's busy doing it. Yeah, so basically, this guy is just doing all the work here. Like, why? Yeah, exactly. Like, well, he wasn't even in trouble, but there's always hecklers no matter what you're doing. And, for me, this is one of those things when people don't see your value, whatever your dream is, so long as your dream isn't self-serving or immoral, whatever your dream is, you should pursue it, because there's always going to be that voice, someone who tells you you're not helping, what you're doing is dumb, don't just stop, right? There's always gonna be a heckler. And he immediately listens to her, and you could see the disappointment as soon as he realizes that he was in fact helping. Well, look at this. Look at this. Let's go. He sees it's falling over, and he throws his hands up in defeat, like, man, I should not have listened to her. And yeah, so and then tragedy, which is, man, the damage done to that truck has got to be pretty bad after that. So yeah, anyways, don't listen to the naysayers. I think that's the lesson from that. So let's go ahead and get into one of these stories then. Let's see, first one here we go. The UN contacted Helldivers 2 studio about giving a talk on psychological defense against manipulation. We actually try to get people to recognize the science of what a totalitarian state is, says Arrowhead CEO. So basically, I'll read more of the article here. But basically, the UN is, I mean, if you don't know what Helldivers 2 is, I mean, or even Helldivers 1, you're playing as, Super Earth, people fighting for Super Earth. Super Earth has its problems, but it's so over the top. It's very much like Starship Troopers, where obviously there's like tons of, the state or Super Earth is putting out all this propaganda, go fight these aliens. And really, they're not the good guys, but neither are the aliens. It's much like a Warhammer 40K kind of situation where no one's the good guy. And it's just fun, right? But yeah, let's read this right here. Breaking news, folks. Co-op Bug Basher Helldivers 2 is a satire on authoritarian regimes, and apparently such an effective one that the United Nations even contacted Arrowhead to ask if they give a talk about psychological manipulation, speaking at the GDC as part of a presentation named Helldivers 2, Capturing Lightning in a Bottle. Chief Easley, I guess that's the person's name, identifiable satire officer Johan Pilstead, he's one of the developers, gave some insight into the game's themes, then bragged about having the UN blow up his DMs constantly, said they got in contact once. Oh man. So this is like this reminds me of, it's I can't even think of the name of the game right now. Here for Super Earth, best game ever. It's such a good game. Oh man, in the 90s they were going crazy about it. I can't even think of it right now. Hold up. Let's see. Anyways, there's tons of games that people is going to come to me. Grand Theft Auto, there we go. I just having a big anyways, Grand Theft Auto was the game where everyone said, oh, no, if people are playing Grand Theft Auto, they're going to become gangsters because of the game, right? They're going to go and rob liquor stores and I guess become pimps or whatever it is. I mean, it's fun to LARP as in the game and stuff, but it doesn't turn people into anything. And playing Helldivers 2 doesn't turn you into, being under some kind of authoritarian regime. Let's see here. What is Helldivers 2 fundamentally? It would probably be fun to play a co-op action shooter where you're put in the shoes of the evil side grunts of pop culture, which is fun. It's so fun. It's just great. Bill said, we ask ourselves, could we brainwash an entire community to fight for a fascist state? Would they? Would we be okay with that? And turns out, yeah, actually. This is all in good fun. It's just silly, right? But the UN is full of a bunch of older people who saw this game and it really concerned them apparently that they had to contact these developers. We did it all in fun and good spirits, and we actually try to get people to recognize the science of what is a totalitarian state, he said. If you start wearing the same uniform as everybody else and do salutes constantly, you might be in a totalitarian regime. Or any military. Pilstead also said his GDC audience to stop nattering while he was making important points about capes. This is ridiculous. Making important points about capes. There we go. Otherwise, he'd get his best mates, the UN, to come down and sort them out. At least that's what I imagine happened. Actually, we got a message from the UN asking if we wanted to talk in some form about psychological defense against manipulation. No one's actually being manipulated by this video game to support totalitarian regimes. But the UN's got nothing better to do with their time, apparently, than to try and worry about what's happening in a video game. So we've got that going on. Mortal Kombat. Ooh, Julian, that's a very good point. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat does not turn kids into little street fighters going around and, doing brutally murdering each other, right? So I think the only thing that a study was ever done on, at least, I heard about this years ago. Actually, I heard about this when I was in the Navy. They were talking about some of the history and like the effects that video games had on new recruits. Duck Hunt, right? That old Nintendo game where you actually have a controller in your hand the shape of a gun, and you would shoot the ducks. Apparently that helped. It didn't make people want to shoot more or anything else like that, but it helped with when they got new recruits who had played this game a lot. They essentially had practice by playing this game, dry firing a gun, which helped them to be better, more accurate shooters, because it was easier for them to understand not to anticipate the recoil. And so it was a study done by the Army. Now, that's like the only thing that I've ever seen kind of reference to that. But once again, it's not like in a dangerous way, right? So anyways, video games are always getting the heat for this stuff. Anyways, for Super Earth, right? We can't let the UN propaganda get us. So let's jump over to this one. We've got some crazy robots. Wilson really liked this one, so he want to share it with you guys. So here we go. Humanoid robot Neo Gamma does household chores for homeowners as autonomous assistant. Let me show you this. So they covered this thing in a soft fabric so it would be more personable. But check this out. This is crazy. Actually, can I get the video? Let's do this. Actually, if we're gonna do a video, we're gonna have to do this right here. Let's see it on YouTube. Look at that. By the way, it's like Alexa. Its ears light up whenever it's listening to you.
How's this? Perfect.
I don't know. This gives me the creeps. They have robot cafes in Japan. I'm okay if they're in the cafe. I'm just not so sure about them being in your home. Look, it's got nothing else to do, so it just sits on your couch. It's like you have an entire machine, it's just sitting on your couch now. Didn't get to visit one, sadly. Oh man. I would love to go to some establishment or a store or something like that where there were robots working like that. But man, yeah, it just seems like an awkward thing. Like they're supposed to, let's see if it gives you a shot of their eyes right here. Where is that? Here we go. Can we see right here? They gave it human-like eyes. Look at that. I don't know, that's creepy to me, but yeah, apparently their goal is to make it so that you have one of these in every home, or like at least, or if people want them, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would get a robot to do chores and stuff. Let's go back to this because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it'll give us some. Let's see, your home assistant that observes and mimics people's movements. This thing's going to observe you. It's going to mimic your movements. 3 speakers of AI voice interactions and sound effects. So it walks like a real human being. I guess the models before that, they were like crouched all weird. Can squat down and pick up objects on the floor using its robotic flexible hands. Made a humanoid more human feeling. There we go. The team dresses it up with a knit suit. What happens if that thing gets dirty? I guess you can wash it. You gotta have to take it off or whatever. But yeah. So we've got this is crazy to me. And one thing I was noticing in this video, because I was like, why would I want something like this? Let's go back to that video again. The reason you would want something like this, in my opinion, is the one thing I noticed. We'll just turn the volume off. One thing I noticed here is that it's a family that doesn't have kids, because if you had kids, they could wash the dishes, they could mow the lawn, they could do things like help around the house and stuff. And I don't know, I think this might just be one more thing that replaces, having kids in the home kind of thing. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. This is kind of crazy. Let's see here. Dude better pay rent if he's taking up space. Yeah, you better pay rent. There you go. Hey, you know what? If they have robot cafes, your robot, okay, you know what? This might actually change things up. Your robot can go and work and bring home a paycheck. How about that? And then pay rent. Camera lens like eyes, just like in mech anime. Ooh, yeah, that's right. From pet parents to robot parents. Do you imagine like a robot hoarder who's got like, because once you get one robot going and working at a cafe and bringing home, you know, a paycheck, well, then you just farm robots, right? You just start buying more, and that could get crazy. That might be a little bit of a hack. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. Well, let's get into a more crazy story. So we've got that coming out. We'll have to see how well, I don't know. If it mimics your behaviors, what if you're doing like, I don't know, what if a serial killer gets hold of one of these things, right? I mean, I'm not so sure about them, but we will see. I'm going to wait till everyone else gets one first and then see what happens, and it should be fun to follow. So let's go to this. Let's see. Let's change this up here. Okay, CIA confirmed Ark of the Covenant's existence using remote viewing. Resurfaced declassified docs claim. These are the docs right here. I can go through and read this stuff to you guys, but basically, and when it says remote viewing, it's not talking about technology. Here, let me read this. The CIA claimed to have confirmed the existence of the Ark of the Covenant by way of remote viewing, aka extrasensory perception, or ESP. Psychics, right? So this is what the CIA has been doing with their time. Allegedly, the mysterious and sacred object is guarded by entities with an unknown power. A recently resurfaced declassified document claims. I think it's bull, but yeah, we'll continue reading it. In a remote viewing session on December 5th, 1988. So I guess these documents are just now being surfaced, but this is what they've been doing since the 80s, apparently. Remote viewer number 32 was tasked with identifying a target that, unbeknownst to them, ended up being the storied Ark of the Covenant, and has been circulating on social media. Let's see here. To add to robot cafes, there's one one where they had people control a robot to serve people cafe and tea. Oh, okay. So yeah, that would be cool if you could just pick up a remote control and now you can control a robot. Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Ooh, medical reasons. You know, I have seen some robots they're not like humanoid robots, but I've seen some in hospitals that like help with the nurses and stuff. They got their uses. But the CIA using psychics, I'm not so sure about that use. Let's see. It's logically, when a remote viewer is tasked with searching for a target, the desired object is written down on a piece of paper and put into an envelope. The remote viewer does not know what is written and is guided through the process by another person. A retired army chief apparently explained. I think this is kind of silly. So this is a picture of what the Ark basically looked like. This was, yeah, you know, it just seems crazy to me that this is what they're doing with their time. But apparently this is what they were looking for. A target is a container. This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned, apparently this is what the Esper was saying. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver, similar in shape to a coffin, and is decorated with seraphim. Well, I could tell you right now, so the Ark is... Actually, you know, let's finish seeing what they had to describe it, and let's see if that actually pans out to what it actually was, right? Visuals of surrounding buildings indicate the presence of mosaic domes, they said, adding the Arabic-speaking men dressed in all white populate the area. Okay, so this is the Middle East. The target is hidden, underground, dark, and wet, where all aspects of location of the target, they continue. So not giving any real details. Anyone could just be saying this, right? The purpose of the target is to bring people together. It has something to do with ceremony, memory, homage, and resurrection. There's an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond what we now know. And then let's see here. Target is protected by entities. Well, they're going off road with this right now, and can only be opened by those who are authorized to do so. This container cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. Once it is time to open the container, the mechanisms of the lock system will be found to be fairly simple. So it has a magic lock on it. This is not individuals opening the container by prying or striking or destroy the container's protectors through the use of a power unknown to us. Yeah, so I could just say right there, based on like the Ark of the Covenant is, it's found in the Bible. This was something in, ancient, Israel history. This was an object that was meant to serve as two different things. They would put inside, it had the Ten Commandments, it had Aaron's budded staff, and then it also had a jar of manna, right? The manna that was in the desert that God used to feed the Israelites. Once a year, this was supposed to be in the temple, in the Holy of Holies, and once a year, the high priest would go into the Holy of Holies and would look inside of it. The whole purpose of that was for the high priest to confirm that yes, these stories were true, that, generations and generations later, they would have the evidence that showed that, God was the God of, the Israelites, that he brought them out of Egypt, and all those things that are recorded in like Exodus and Deuteronomy, that sort of thing, were true. So, it's a faith by reason kind of thing. It was lost, I think, somewhere. I think the Babylonians ended up sacking the Israelites and took the Ark, and then it kind of just disappeared. No one really knows where it's at right now, but it didn't have a magical lock system. The only instances of people dying that were around it, fun fact, so if the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, the rest of the priests had to tie a rope around his waist. So whenever he did go in there, and he was supposed to go in once a year, if he did die, they would have a rope and they could pull him out, so they wouldn't have to like walk into the space, right? But the only instance of people dying, there was they were taking the Ark, which had been captured before, taking it back, and it was King David who was taking it back, and one of the men died because he reached out to grab it, and they had already done like so many things improper, not obeying what God had said on how to transport it. So this was kind of like the final straw on the camel's back, and so God struck that person dead, as showing them like, listen, you guys are supposed to be doing this in a proper way, and you're not doing that. And so yeah, there's stories like that, but there's nothing. I feel like whoever came up with this, the Esper, right, the psychic that came up with this, is probably thinking of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, or that sort of thing, right? Indiana Jones, spirits flying out, attacking people. The purpose would be to be a container, to have those things in it. The other purpose of it, and the reason that there's cherubim, not seraphim, on top of it, but there's cherubim, and they were meant to be like, this is where God literally resided as he ruled over the Israelites. That was what its secondary purpose was. So yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing that CIA would be recording this stuff and spending their time on this stuff. I don't know, it seems a little bit silly to me. Here we go. Okay, let's look at this next story, because this next story is pretty wild. So we have, this is actually, I wonder if I can change that. Hey, you guys can see it still. It's barely cut off. Toddlers suspension for transphobia sparks global controversy. So this is going down in the UK, apparently. So we got a British nursery's decision to suspend a toddler for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity has triggered widespread backlash. And when the word games played are abuse. So we're talking about a toddler here. We probably can't even understand these concepts. Let's see here, promoting political statements, yada, yada, yada. The context, new figures from the DFE show that school exclusions for transphobic or homophobic behavior rose from 164 in 2021 through 2022 to 178 through the following year. During the same period, 94 children in state primary schools were either suspended or permanently excluded for alleged transphobic or homophobic behavior, including 13 pupils as young as 4 or 5 years old. This is insane. How do you suspend a 4-year-old? Is it because they I don't know, they misgendered someone or something? How would they even understand that? Let's see here. J.K. Rowling Let's see. Actually, I skipped down. The disclosure was triggered backlash, or has triggered backlash on social media, mainly from critics of transgender activism. Former NCAA swimmer and women's sport advocate Riley Gaines wrote on X, formerly Twitter. A 4-year-old boy in the UK was suspended from his nursery school for transphobia. Yes, you read that right. We have reached peak clown world. Author J.K. Rowling called the suspension totalitarian insanity. See, the United Nations should be a little bit more worried about this kind of blatant totalitarian behavior, a little less worried about Helldivers too. And wrote, if you think small children should be punished for being able to recognize sex, you are a dangerous zealot who should be nowhere near kids or in any position of authority over them. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. British Prime Minister. Obviously, the Prime Minister would not support those sort of measures. Well, then why is it happening apparently for years it's been going on. Let's see here. People's staff should not be subject to abuse, but any action taken to tackle behavior should also be proportionate. They're not doing anything abusive. This is insane. So, you know what's interesting about this is that if you were to have, if the whole world got restarted, World War III went down, everything got restarted, right? You lost all this information. The internet was lost, and human civilization was just kind of coming back, and doing its thing, kind of Stone Age type of thing. No one would even think of transphobia or anything like that. It would be very simple. People would very easily recognize male and female, and that would be it. Like, all of this is just a bunch of word game nonsense to try and create a class of people to be protected when it's just silly stuff. It's not based on reality. And kids, I understand that, right? I mean, all kids understand is basic reality, and they're engaging with it, and you're punishing them. This is, I don't know what's going on with the UK, but it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, there's been some other things going on in the UK as well. Who got misgendered, the tolerance. It's funny that they're not giving us the details, right? You would think that if it was something that was truly atrocious, that those details would have been laid out. Apparently someone got offended. It was probably an adult. It was probably an adult getting offended by a 4-year-old and suspended them for it. That would be my guess. Let me go over here. Let's see what we can find on this. Let's see. How do we want to do this? UK. Let's see here. Here we go. Here we go. Oh yeah. So you've got all kinds of things. UN, stop focusing on Helldivers too. You got stuff like this. Bans Christian prayers being said before meetings in case they exclude or alienate individuals in different faiths or those with no religious beliefs. Silently praying in public is apparently now illegal in England. What's next? Praying in private? Yeah, so this has been going on a lot. Yeah, let's see. Let's hear these guys out.
Are you protesting?
No.
Are you here to pray for the lives of unborn children?
As I've mentioned to one of your colleagues before, I think that's a little bit of a leading question. No, I'm not, actually, today.
Can your actions be carried out elsewhere?
I'm not doing any
praying.
actions. I'm just simply thinking silently in my head.
She's being harassed for thinking.
These locations, Sam?
This is an abortion centre. I'm praying for those who've been hurt by abortion.
Oh, she's in trouble now.
Well, I said before, are you here to pray for the lives of unborn children?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I said no.
I said no.
I'm praying for those who've been hurt by abortion.
Hurt by abortion?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So are you aware there's a public space protection order in place here?
Yes, I don't know if you know, but I have actually been arrested twice. I've gone to court and been acquitted.
That's crazy. Let me let's see here. Specifically, UK. show you guys this. Here we go, right here. This is the kind of stuff. Actually, maybe that's not it. That's full video there. Let's see. I cannot remember last time I saw 6 police officers together in Britain, but here they are arresting 2 parents in front of their children for complaining about their local school in a WhatsApp group. So this isn't even like a social, like a public social media. This is a private WhatsApp group. Britain is completely utterly lost. It is used to be home. Yeah. So this is, it's just crazy to me. Like, go after people praying. They go after kids for being transphobic. They're going after parents for complaining on private WhatsApp posts. Yeah. Now I don't know what you guys are doing over there at UK, but that is that's a sad state of affairs, honestly. So yeah. Let's see. Let me make sure I caught up here. Yeah, sounds more like something would happen. Yeah. Well, you know what? This stuff started in the U.S. You're absolutely right, Julian. This stuff definitely started in the U.S., but it's definitely, you know, I think it's materialized to its fullness over in other places, the UK being one of the examples here. I think we would have exactly this if we had, you know, those types of political ideas unfettered and, you know, were not countered in some way. And stopped. We would definitely have that here, because I mean, we were, you know, not too long ago, you had to have a government injection in order to maintain your civil liberties. So that's yeah, that's the world we live in right now. Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's interesting, Wilson, right? So we definitely have to counter this. And to counter that, let's go ahead and get to our story right here. It'll be a short day today. We'll have more going on tomorrow, but I found this. Thought this was very interesting here. Let me see. Let's just do this here. Let's go back to perfect. Okay, so I got a story. It's a very short story, but a very interesting one. So this is one of Aesop's fables. It's called The Monkeys and the Two Men. This is a story about the concept of truth and just something to think about with it. So here we go. There were 2 men traveling together. One was a liar, and the other always told the truth. Their journey led them to the land of the monkeys. There was a whole crowd of monkeys there, and one of them noticed the travelers. The monkey was clearly their leader, ordered that the men be detained. All right, the monkey who was clearly their leader ordered that the men be detained. Since he wanted to know what the men thought of him, he commanded all the rest of the monkeys to stand before him in a long line to his right and to his left, while a seat was prepared for him to sit on. The monkey had once seen the emperor, so he was ordering the monkeys to line for him in the same way. Right, so monkeys have detained 2 men. One always tells the truth, one always tells a lie, and they arrange themselves in a way to imitate the emperor's court, right? To make it seem like they are more civilized than what they are. The men were then told to come forward into the midst of the monkeys. The chief monkey said, "Who am I?" The liar said, "You are the emperor." Then the monkey asked, "And those whom you see standing before me, who were they?" The man answered, "They are your noble companions, your chancellors, your officials, and commanders of your armies." Because these lies flattered the monkey and his troops, he ordered that the man be showered with presents. All the monkeys were fooled by this flattery. Meanwhile, the man who always told the truth thought to himself, "If that liar receives such rewards for telling lies, then surely I will receive an even greater reward for telling the truth." The chief monkey said to the second man, "Now you tell me who I am, and who are these whom you see standing before me?" And the man who always loved the truth and never lied said to the monkey, "You are simply a monkey, and all of these similar simians are monkeys as well." Well, that is the truth, right? And so the chief monkey immediately ordered the monkeys to attack the man with their teeth and claws because he had spoken the truth. Oof. All right. I picked this story just because it seems like this just seemed like we live in a time where, you know, you get attacked for telling the truth, even if you just plainly say it. I mean, for him to tell these monkeys that they're monkeys, it wasn't like he was trying to criticize them. He wasn't making fun of them. He wasn't even demeaning them in any way. I'm sure the monkeys knew that they were monkeys. They attacked him simply because they preferred the lie that they were something else, something different than what reality was saying about them. And yeah, we find ourselves in a place today where we have people who reject reality, who do not love the truth, and will definitely hold on to a lie. And people telling those lies, you know, there's a big difference between being nice and being kind. And, you know, the liar here, he's being nice in a way. Nice basically meaning that you're telling someone what they want to hear, right? Your focus is on their feelings, and, you know, truth and everything else takes a second seat or takes a back seat. Whereas kindness is always, you know, is always spoken in truth, because you don't want to set someone up for failure by setting them or convincing them of a lie that would eventually, you know, cause problems for them down the road. And the people who think they're being nice by telling people, you know, things that aren't true, you know, it's kind of like the emperor, you know, the emperor's new clothes, right? Everyone was telling the emperor he was wearing clothes when he wasn't, which to his great shame, he got lied to so much that, you know, everyone, he basically exposed himself to the whole kingdom before someone finally told him the truth. And then he realized that what he was doing was wrong. And you know what? Those people are nowhere to be found whenever that person's world comes crashing down, because they've built their life or their worldview on things that aren't true, because people who were just trying to be nice, and it's nice in a way of it's self-centered. It's like you're wanting someone to like you, so you tell them what they want to hear, even though that can totally wreck and destroy that person, but they don't care because they're not going to be around when that person's life gets messed up anyways by those lies. Whereas kindness is just telling someone the truth, and you don't have to be mean about it. This person right here wasn't being mean to the monkeys. And yeah, it's and there's a real fear of telling the truth because you don't want the monkeys to attack you, right? Like in the story. You don't want to be attacked for telling the truth. And so, I don't know, I think that we need to have more bravery. I think the UK is definitely going to need brave people to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. We're going to stand up for the truth, and we're not going to be bullied around by people who want to live in a fictional reality that says we're going to be accepting of everyone except for the intolerant. But then you've just created a paradox where you're now intolerant towards certain groups of people, which is exactly what you say you're against. Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, so that's pretty much the story today. Let's see here. Let's see. So tomorrow we are going to be continuing our Bible reading. It's going to be Wednesday night, and we should be good to you know, continue down that path of that story. So look forward to seeing you guys with that. We'll also cover a few. We'll do some reaction stories. We got the female dating strategy and some other things that we'll go over tomorrow. But yeah, best story ever. Yeah, you know, the Bible for sure. Yeah, the best story ever, which is exactly why we're reading it and going through the entire Bible, all these Bible stories in chronological order to better understand it, because this is the one book that changed the entire, you know, in the entire world. Nothing has made more of an impact than the Bible, and it's also, I mean, there's so many things that we could say about it, right? It's a very, very unique book. So with that, yeah, unless you guys have anything else, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, Wilson. All right, I think we covered everything here. Yeah, I think we'll do. You want to do a? We'll open up the next episode with an animal video. We got some good ones for that. Wilson watches those all the time. All right, so let's go ahead, hit that outro. Be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this channel, and once we get, you know, our goal is to reach 1 billion subscribers, just a humble 1 billion. We'll get stories out to the whole world and start making change in our culture for the better. So with that, I'll catch you guys next time. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day.
I know the air I'm breathing, it's no good for my lungs. I do this every season, I hate when summer comes. I fall into a trap that I made by myself. Oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and now I'm unsteady. I've lost a million times already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy. My heart feels heavy, I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. I'm always self-destructive. I take a hit, I love it. Can you give me a second? I'm slow, got blurry vision. I fall into a trap that I made by myself. Oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and I'm unsteady. I've lost a million times already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy. My heart feels heavy, I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. Please help me see the things that I am. I don't understand. I'm doing the best that I can right now, but it's never enough. I'm not even ready.